Předám slovo dalšímu řečníkovi, kterým je pan Karsten Sydow, zástupce firmy Gale In Kontext. Název prezentace je Novinky v produktových řadách Gale, což je In Kontext, a Gale Virtual Reference library. Karsten je absolventem Humboldtovy univerzity, jeho specializace, to, co vystudoval, je knihovnictví, ale také moderní historie a politologie.
Jako se fotili to kvůli tomu inforu, kvůli tomu odrazu, ale tak teď už se to nějak teda opravdu.
Okay, Karsten, the floor is yours.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much for showing up this afternoon. I know it's really hard sitting here for hours and hours, and I hope you don't get the afternoon blues like this. I hope I can keep you awake for at least another 20 minutes. And what I would like to do is to talk about some of our new product line. It's called the In Kontext product. And then I would like to give you a short overview about the Gale Virtual Reference library, our ebook platform. Probably a lot of you are familiar with this platform already because we have a quite good customer base here in the Czech Republic, and there will be some updates on the GVRL coming later this year. But first of all, our In Kontext products, they are the replacement of the so-called resource centers that we had. We had the Biography Resource Center, Science Resource Center, History Resource Center World and US, and also the Student Resource Center on several platforms. And we are replacing them step by step with the In Kontext products. So, we did a lot of user research actually, and we were asking the three groups that our main focus is on. That's the librarians, that's the teacher, the faculty, and that's the students, of course. And of course they all have different opinions about what a database should look like and what the features of a database are supposed to be. For the librarians, they want the deep, authoritative content for all the students and subjects. The teachers, they want it simple, and they want direct curriculum connections. They need the tools to include the database into their curriculum. They like to set homeworks within the databases, and they like to, like the students to work within the database. And of course, for the students, well, they want it fast, they want it easy, and if it looks cool, it's not a disadvantage. So here you see how the old resource centers were looking like actually. You'll find countries in there, you'll find names in there, you'll find subject areas in there. So this is what it used to look, not very, well, it wasn't very popular among the students at least. So this is what we did. We moved away from that. And now we have these beautiful arranged subject areas. Very easy to look. You can look for biographies, you can look for countries in the geography section, for history, and so on and so on. It's much easier to go through, to browse through the database, or to start a search within the database. Also, this is really hard to read. These were the multimedia contents within the databases, so mostly images, as you can see. We moved away from that as well. So it's much clearer now. You have the photo or the content about the media content, you have a description, and you also know where it comes from. Another thing, the search box, if you misspell the word, for example, you couldn't find any results. Now we have a search assist. This is quite nice as well. So by simply putting some of the letters of the word in there, you find a whole result list actually, and you can drop right into the right search if you want. This is another thing that quite surprised me actually. I always liked it, to be honest. We had tabs on top of every page. So you could see the reference content, the content from magazines, academic journals, and so on and so on. I thought it was quite useful, but the users didn't like it at all. And what we did here is we replaced these tabs with these buckets, they are called. It's much easier to start search within these buckets. You don't have to click on the tabs to find your results. You just can go right into the search. So this is how the interfaces look like. They're pretty much the same actually in all the resource centers. This example here is the Science Resource Center, and as you can see, it is quite static. This is how the Science Resource Center nowadays looks. It's much more colorful. It's easier to find. You have a better look on things. You can see images, and you have different options to start your research actually within the database. So about the content. Our main focus in the resource centers was the quantity of content. We now think that's no longer useful. We should focus more on the quality and just get rid of every content that is trivial, that it is outdated, and that is redundant. So we now put the emphasis on quality and on the value and the desired results. As I said, we had overwhelming amounts of content in there. We are now trying to precisely deliver what the researcher, the student, or the librarian is actually looking for. As I said, we had the content types hidden behind the tabs. Some like it, like me, others are not very convinced. So now we expose these content types through buckets. We had mostly text within the search results, only a handful of multimedia content and images, for example, or audio files. Now we have much more audio-visual content in there, a lot of interactive material as well, links to the open web, for example, which is quite nice, and other very useful things. So you had to, in the old resource centers, you had to click by page and click, and then click again and click again. Here, we merge all the content types into single portals. For example, on environmental studies, or on the history of the Czech Republic, for example, things like that. We had in the old resource centers, we had an automatic document selection, and now we have expert picks, so people are actually hand selecting documents for these portals, which is also a very nice thing. We think it's more authoritative this way. And last, in the old times, it was a continuous updating of the whole database. Now we are concentrating only on the portals that need to be updated, which is also quite nice. So it's a very specific updating. Some portals get updated once a day, others once a week, and if there's not much going on, once a month. So it's really focusing on what is really useful and necessary. And yeah, our main focus back then was the focus on authority. Now it's more the authority and currency of the news. So for example, the earthquake and tsunami in Japan was within hours after the earthquake, we had portal in different databases on that specific issue. So one of the products I'm going to explain to you a little bit more is biography in context. And this is a new interface, and it is much more colorful, as you can see. And I like it a lot. All of these in context products, they all look pretty much the same from the interface. So if you know one in context product, you know how the others look, but with different content, of course. So what's in there? We have about 600,000 biographies for more than 500,000 individuals, which is quite good. We have about 170 plus award-winning titles from the Gale reference works in there. We have we update biographies, or we add new biographies every year, and that's about 50,000 each year that are new in the database. You'll find reference material, you'll find periodical information from popular magazine, from academic journals, of course, newspapers, and of course, multimedia content. And as I said already, hundreds of handcrafted topic pages. So really we have our experts, we have our editorial board, and they are handpicking the topics they find necessary to be in the database. So I conducted a search on Václav Havel, and this is how a search result looks. One person, the occupation of the, or former occupation of the person. I was quite surprised to see that there's only president, not author. Maybe you should include that as well. The date of birth and, if necessary, the date of the death date. So here is what we have. This is the content on Václav Havel. You'll find reference content, images, news, magazines, academic journals, audio files, and websites. So this is how it looks. These are the search results for the reference works. This is the image we have. Of course, in the on the websites, you'll find much more images of him. We have the news section. We have the magazine section. The audio files, which is quite nice. What we've always featured in all of these products as well is the read speaker technology, which helps you listening to the text. So you can download all the text by as an MP3, for example. You can always listen to the text. It's a text-to-speech technology called read speaker, which is very nice. And down there you see the website, selected websites on his life and works. So it's not only one website, but several links to the open web. Another product within these In Kontext series is World History in Context, which used to be History Resource Center World. Here as well, the interface is already familiar, I think. We have more than 2,000 reference articles here from very well-known history titles from our imprint Macmillan, Scribner's and others. We have more than 125 new Gale reference titles that are not to be found anywhere else. More than 350 periodical articles from these journals, a Journal of World History, History Review, and The Historian, for example. Also very helpful for doing research, 600 historical maps, which is also quite nice if you want to see the development of the country, for example. Very interesting. And also from our imprint primary source microfilm, we have almost 2,000 primary documents taken from microfilm collections into these database. Also some video and audio. And if you have world history in context, you can do a cross search with US history in context, which is really complementary to each other. So here I did a sample search on Moravia, which is a bit tricky actually, because you see several things in Moravian, but you also see Moravia Alberto. Of course, you can exclude this in the advanced search option. This is not a problem at all. I didn't do that. It's a very basic search I did. So here are the results. It's not much, but you see the first hit is a reference article about Alberto Moravia, but then we go directly to Moravia. And I like this one quite a lot, the news for Moravia. In the Middle Ages, the water was not safe to drink, so we Moravians drank wine. I heard that's still the case in southern Moravia. Is that true? I found it a very nice quote here, actually. So some key things that I would like to recap. The users, they want us to make it easier to access information without all these obstacles that are usually within databases. They want it simple, and they want it fast. And we also heard today the fun factor is something that users are really appreciating. They want the Web 2.0 tools they are accustomed to from the open web. And they also want the content technology to be tied to their workflow. So the Web 2.0 tools, like they would like to share it on Facebook or on MySpace. They would like to put it into their Twitter accounts. It's all possible. They can, of course, they can download the articles on their MP3 player, no problem at all. We still have problems, especially here in the Czech Republic. We often get the request, are you supporting the Kindle? Unfortunately, we have a lot of trouble with Amazon. And I think we are not the only publisher having these problems. We don't support the Kindle. Maybe in the future you will find selected articles on Amazon as well that you can buy, but we don't support it. It is visually appealing. You get that Web 2.0 feel. The end users love the concept, and the academic reviews are praising all our portal products. We sometimes hear some criticism that we are spoon-feeding the users. We are not. We are putting things in context. That's a big difference, I think. We don't give them the results. We try to get them to develop critical thinking. That's what we do with all these in-context products. Moving away from the in-context product line now to the GVRL, because time is running. Last year, probably you heard me saying, well, approximately 5,600 titles are on GVRL. It's steadily growing. We have now about 7,000 titles on GVRL. As I said, especially here in the Czech Republic, we have a really good customer base for the GVRL. We are quite happy with this. 7,000 titles to choose from among them hundreds of award winners from more than 60 publishers. So it's not only Gale titles, not only Macmillan Reference, but also Sage, Wiley, Springer, and several more publishers that we are taking content from, where we think these books or these reference works are really good on our platform as well. So what's coming in 2011? GVRL will receive an interface update, which is quite nice. It's also quite static at the moment. It will be much more user-friendly, we think, by the end of the year. So the homepage of GVRL will receive a new design. We'll update the results, the displays of the result list and the documents. You will have kind of a flipping functionality, which is quite nice. I like it a lot. You will see the cover images of the reference works, and you will also find the search assist within GVRL. So this is not the end version. This is just a beta version of the whole thing, but this is how it might look in the future. So you can search, you'll find on the left-hand side, you see all the subjects. So if your library only has a few ebooks on history, for example, you'll only find the history button there. But here you'll find all the different subjects that we offer. You'll find the new titles, new technology, new general reference, the new acquisitions, and on top you can search either the entire collection, you can listen to articles, you can bookmark, you can save articles, you can synchronize articles with your tablet PC. Well, it's still work in progress. And you can also take notes and save your searches, of course. So this is how a result list will probably look like. So you always see the cover of the book, and you see some overview of the book as well. So this is how the chapters will look. And this is how the article will look, and you will find that flipping function, like really flipping from page to page within there. And it will be also much more colorful than it used to be. I'm really looking forward to that one too. It's a reference title here for schools. but also in other books it will be much more colorful than it used to be. And GVRL is still cross-searchable with a lot of our products of Gale. So it's always, if you have GVRL, you have some online databases or journal databases, you can always doing a cross-search, which is pretty nice. I'm really looking forward to, and I hope, as I said, by the end of the year, we will have more news about these updates, and we work exclusively here in the Czech Republic with Argentina, so we will let them know how to inform you, what to do, and so on. And that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask. If not here, I'm sitting right outside at my table, and thank you very much for paying attention and for not sleeping.
Karstena? The competition pushes products like this more and more ahead, and many of them seem to me very similar, very unique. Where do you see a space for next development?
I think at the moment, actually, with these in context products and with our knowledge portals, we have a quite unique position. And I don't know what the competition will do in the future, of course, but I know you're probably referring to Literature Resource Center and or Literature Reference Center from EBSCO. They were a bit similar, I would say. But I think with our main focus on the content here, we have quite a unique position. We do not automatically add text, they are handcrafted, that's another thing. Like in our journal database, we are manually indexing texts, which is quite unique as well. So I think we are advanced towards the competition. I don't like the competition bashing, but I think we are still ahead, and I think with the context products, we are going a good way, and they're constantly developed. So I'm quite hopeful that in the future we will be one step ahead.
Zase, pokud byste měli zájem, obraťte se s důvěrou na stánek Albertiny teď, nebo na Albertinu poté po Inforu, pokud by vás zajímaly detaily o kolekcích firmy Gale Cengage, nebo o tom, jak funguje toto rozhraní, nic nebrání tomu si vyzkoušet, jako u řady jiných produktů. Tak, není dotaz? Děkuji.